Well, that's good advice. Let's see if our experts are now agreed. Joining us now is Paul Sacher from the Men Charity that Cordelia referenced there, which carried out the research, and parenting expert Liz Fraser, who has first-hand experience of the disorders. So, Paul, what reasons did parents give generally as their concerns for not addressing the issue head-on, talking to their children about it?
Well, I think the main reasons were parents were concerned that if they raised the issue of weight with their children, they might actually lower their self-esteem. However, we know that that's not the case. Often children, especially older children, are very aware if they're overweight, and actually having a supportive conversation with the parent is often the first step that's needed in order to then, you know, make some changes to one's lifestyle, to be more active and to change the family's diet.
And you mentioned older children. I think maybe that's the concern. At what age do you have the conversation? Because you don't want to make them self-conscious if at that point they aren't yet, and then trigger something, do you? So when would you start having the debate? Well,
with younger children who are less overweight, then I wouldn't raise the issue of weight. What it's about then is making sure that the whole family is eating healthy foods, that the whole family is being active, and that parents really are being very positive role models to children, because let's face it, young children copy their parents, particularly when they're younger. As children get older, then obviously weight does become an issue for them. They do become aware of their own bodies. But it's all about raising the issue of weight as a health issue and not about how children look or how they appear. And you know, many parents are overweight themselves. More than 60% of adults are overweight or obese in this country. And so it's really important that they can talk about their own weight and their children's weight in a positive way.
Liz, you're nodding alongside Paul there, but it can be quite a sensitive issue, can't it? Bringing this subject up with the kids.
Oh, absolutely, it can be, and you're so right. And in fact, in the report we watched, there are many people that we know. This often goes in families. You see a mother who's slightly overweight, a grandmother, a father. You know, you have a large family, a child is more likely to be large. I would say right from the start, though, for parents worrying, this sort of connection between mentioning weight and diet and health as causing eating disorders, we need to be very careful there. An eating disorder is a serious psychological condition, and just as you don't cause alcoholism by restricting alcohol from your children, so you don't cause an eating disorder by saying to your child...
Exposing a child to alcohol at a young age could lead them into drinking.
That's a whole different... I mean, it's very complex. Eating is very, very, very complex, but we mustn't be frightened to mention the fact that, you know, I think as a family we need to be a little bit healthier, but you're absolutely right. It depends really on age, and it depends on the severity. I mean, how a child, honestly, can sit having Frosties and Nutella and a packet of 8 biscuits for breakfast under her mother's nose is really shocking to me, and will be to a lot of people. That as a parent, how can you allow your child, who is quite a young child actually, to be at home eating that food and surely observing her becoming larger and larger and larger, which, as you say, from a health perspective, let's put the thin thing completely aside, from a health perspective, it's just very bad for you to be either very underweight, by the way, or very overweight.
Just want to mention what Paula Mathers has written in, which sounds like a very sensible way forward, and perhaps what you're both referring to. I would never tell my daughter she's fat. I provide healthy, nutritious meals and teach her about the dangers of her heart or of eating too much junk. I don't buy crisps or other snack food, so she only eats things like that as a treat at the weekend, which she buys with her pocket money. Sounds like a sensible solution to this, perhaps, Paul?
I mean, the thing is, you know, you need to be able to know where your child is, and the only way to figure that out is to have their BMI measured and to have a health professional, or you can actually go online and use a BMI calculator at the Men website.
We're going to come back to you guys. Save it. We want to hear your views.